Over the last 3 years, my team and I have worked with some of the largest brands in crypto. And what I'm about to share with you is a culmination of a lot of the things that I've learned in the last 3 years, having worked with all these big companies, as well as over 250 companies in total. What I'm obsessed in understanding is how do the top brands in crypto succeed? And they all do so by brainwashing their prospects into buying. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. If we are to draw the marketing funnel of a typical crypto business, here's what it would look like. Right here at the top, we would have top of funnel. In the middle, we would have the middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel. And what the typical buyer journey follows is they go from X to the page, so the project page, to the website. This right here is the funnel, very simply explained. Now, back in the days, just existing was enough for you to be able to attract attention. If you remember during the 2021 NFT craze, for example, or the 2017 ICO boom, I remember I was buying Ethereum back then, buy high, sell low, that's my journey. But I remember I was looking at crypto back in 2017 during my engineering studies, and just having a token was enough to be appealing to the masses. But now, the space has become more sophisticated. People have become smarter. It's never become easier to launch a token, an NFT, a collection, a protocol, a marketplace, you name it. So now it's become a lot harder to grab people's attention and even harder to grab people's liquidity. And after analyzing what do all the top projects have in common, they all have the ability to take the potential prospects that are looking at their project through 3 different phases. So the 3 phases of brainwashing. The 3 phases of brainwashing. Phase 1 is the curiosity trigger. How do we create curiosity in our prospects? And this is usually top of funnel, TOF. Phase number 2 is intrigue. And this right here is middle of funnel. And then phase number 3 is desire. And this is BOF, bottom of funnel. So after the next couple minutes, you're gonna know exactly how do you create curiosity in your prospects, how do you create intrigue, and then how do you create desires to get them to convert. I've created for you a 6-item checklist. These are all the elements that can help improve your marketing and brainwash your prospects into buying. The ultimate goal and the top projects all have all 6 at any moment of time. And it all starts with step number 1, which is social proof. And this right here fits within our phase number 1, which is curiosity. Let's say you were to join crypto for the first time ever. You have no idea what Bitcoin is, you have no idea what BNB is, you don't know what Ethereum is, you are as novice exists. What is the first thing you would look at? Let's say I presented you with all the accounts of all the different crypto projects. You would probably think that the one with the biggest social proof, with the biggest amounts of followers, with the biggest amounts of volume, the biggest amounts of users, that was the token that was the most successful. And that is the one that you would want to invest in. Well, let me tell you, that is the reality that all of us succumb to subconsciously. Imagine one project that has 100,000 people talking about it. Then imagine the same project with the same fundamentals with only 100 people talking about it. This project is infinitely more appealing than that project right here. Why? Social proof. Arguably one of the most influential phenomenon in human behavior. So the best projects, what they have the ability to do is they have the ability to show social proof in followers, users, volume, fans, investors, everything that looks bullish. What the top projects do is that they take these things and then they make sure that they create as much awareness on it as possible. Because you want to show as a project that other people are paying attention to you, buying into you, trading on on your product, all of these things that make you appealing. Let me give you some real industry alpha. And you're not gonna hear this from any other channel or any other influencer in the industry, because this is as alpha as it gets. This is from someone who has overseen over $400,000 in marketing budget spent in the last 30 days across the Telegram groups that my team and I are in. So I see the conversations that are happening. Do you wanna know the number one most impactful marketing campaign that exists with influencer marketing? Do you know what that is? It is a screenshot of how much volume a platform has of the chart itself of the token price. Imagine you take a project, you take a screenshot of the token, and then you have the influencer say, Project X looking good here. And that is the post. This will outperform every single other marketing creative that exists ever. Screenshot, Project X looking good here. Or screenshot of volume on platform that says, volume on X is insane. Have you seen it? These perform amazingly well. Why? Social proof. By the way, everyone has social proof. That is why I love everyone who watches my content, and I love anyone who ever tags me and posts me on their posts. Anyone who, for example, makes a post about something they learned from my YouTube channel, I always make sure to repost it, because number one, I want to support the people who support me. But number two, it makes me look good. I want others to see that there are people that are sitting here watching my content. This is social proof, because those who are saying all these people tagging Leon on YouTube and then they're not watching YouTube, they're probably gonna think, oh, what am I missing? That is social proof. That is the phenomenon number one. Next, the second phenomenon that we have is narrative hitchhiking. And this pretty much means being part of a hot narrative. Now, let me give you an example. Imagine two projects that have the exact same amounts of social proof. Both have 100,000 people talking about them. One is building in a super hyped meta. The other is building in a super dead meta, in a super dead narrative. One, for example, is building a prediction market that is like super hot. Everyone's a prediction market expert right now. That's the number one. Number two, the other one is building in the Web3 gaming space. Who do you think is going to be able to convert more people down the funnel? It's obviously going to be the person who is building with a hot narrative. And that's the thing. The best projects have an ability to warp their perception based on narrative. What do I mean by this? I'll give you the example of Avalanche. Avalanche right now have done a fantastic job at marketing. They're doing a very good job at sentiment. They're doing a very good job at just marketing themselves. And a big way they were able to do so is by using the crypto Twitter lead strategy, where they just hire these very influential, loud influencers to come work with them. So it's pretty much ambassadors, but on steroid. And it's almost like an exclusivity deal that they have with these people, and they become team members. For example, AVAX was built off the gaming narrative. If you've heard of AVAX for the first time, it was probably because of the gaming narrative. But then gaming started to die. But that chain did not accept its fate. Instead, they started hitchhiking on other hot narratives. For example, institution is a very big theme. So now they are pushing a lot about how they are working with institution, how AVAX is building with institution, the relationship they have with all these big institution buyers, stable coins, prediction markets, perps and dexes. What they were able to do is to take what they have that is currently hot and just amplify it and show it to the rest of the space. And because of this, they were able to hitchhike on all these big narratives that have been coming. A big reason why Chainlink is so big is because it's built on RWAs, it's built on institution. All these big themes and these big names, all these big categories and narratives that are hot. So for you, I know you might not be AVAX and you might not be Chainlink and you might not be the Solanas of the industry, but how can you stay relevant within the narrative? How can you stay within culture? Let's say, for example, you are a big sneaker fan. It doesn't mean that you have to reject what is happening with Supreme and the t-shirts. Although Supreme doesn't do sneakers, how can you still be in and still talk about what is happening over at Supreme on the internet, if that's your niche, for example, but still showing that you're in the now, so that you're still a cultural phenomenon in your industry? How can you do something similar? Either build in the direction of the narrative, which, it all depends on what angle you want to take with your business, but also show that your project is still in the now. You can still have a Web3 gaming project, but then be building for institution or be building RWAs or be building in all that category, highlight the things, because crypto, all the products, they almost all look the same. Instead is, what is the branding and what is the packaging that you are using when displaying your project? So when you have these two things right here, this is how you are able to create curiosity. So right now, we just learned how to build curiosity. Step number 2 is, how do we build intrigue? And the first way you build intrigue is through authority. So people are curious. They've seen a lot of followers, they've seen a lot of numbers, and then they've seen that you're hot and you're building on a really cool narrative. Next comes authority. So this is what is happening in people's brain as they travel your funnel. The top of funnel, you want them to think, what is this? Step 2 in the funnel is, ooh, this is interesting. So what is this to, ooh, this is interesting? And the way you do so is, the first one is by showing authority. We are currently in a trust recession across the world, by the way, not just in crypto. But across the world, it's become harder than ever to sell to people. It's become harder than ever to sell to strangers. E-commerce costs are going up. Everything is going up. Everyone's been scammed. And the solution to this is all of a sudden for a regression to the importance of the team, the individual, or the entity behind the product. So now more than ever, it becomes more important to show who is the person, who is the team, who are the big logos. So in this stage right here, you want to show as much authority as possible. And the way you do this is by having logos, by having appearances, by having podcast appearances. You have big crowds that are looking at you. These are all things that create authority. And the best founders and marketers are the ones who know how to create the perception of authority around themselves. They make it a point to go on podcasts, they make it a point to go on spaces, they make it a point to try to speak at conferences when possible. They make it a point to try to be around other people of authority so that they can elevate their own perceived authority. This is how you go from, what is this, to, ooh, this is interesting. And this right here is our intrigue. The second way you do so is by having an appealing offer for people. And the most intriguing of all offers is when people think that they can make money with you, which is why, by the way, InfoFi is so big and it's so popular and it became so successful, because it has a very intriguing offer that they have. Talk about a project and then make money. So along your funnel, you want to think, how can you create an offer that is so appealing that people will want to go from middle of funnel to bottom of funnel? Because again, bottom of funnel is when people take action. Middle of funnel is when we convert people from a stranger into someone that knows us. Then we want them to take action. And for this, what helps a lot is having a very appealing offer. So for here, think about how can you create scarcity. So we're only looking for 100 people to participate in our pre-sale. How can you create urgency? 10 hours left to redeem your $10 sign-up bonus to our platform. You can give bonuses, you can literally give money exchanges. For example, they will tell you, deposit $100 and get $100 free. That's an offer, an appealing offer that they're trying to give you. The promise of an airdrop campaign is an appealing offer itself. InfoFi is an appealing offer. So these right here are all things, if you have an appealing enough offer, people will be willing to go to the final step of the brainwashing machine, which is going to be create desire. The desire stage is when people go from, what is this, to, oh, this is interesting, to, I want this. This is the I want. And the way you create desire is right here. You want to think that people don't know too much about you. So they've seen a lot of people talk about you. They've seen that you are in a hot narrative. Then they've seen that there are big logos around you, and then that you have some cool offers going on. And only then do people actually start doing their due diligence. Okay, what is this actually? What am I buying into? What am I about to deposit money in? How do I deposit money? How do I get this thing done? How do I join this InfoFi campaign? This is the how. And a simple way to create desire is to make it simple. And when I say make it simple, you want to think about the UI, UX. So obviously the UI, UX, but more importantly, and this is, I cannot stress this enough, I'm also talking here about the understanding of your project and the simplicity of your brand. I cannot emphasize how much people have romanticized overcomplicating all their projects, what they do, what they talk about. They use all these buzzwords. Someone, for example, recently, not too long ago, applied to our website to work with us. And the summary, the slogan of the brand is, security is the commodity we exchange. So fancy, but it means absolutely nothing. Now, at this stage, people are on your website. At this stage, if they do not understand what you have going on, they're going to bounce, they're going to churn, they're going to leave your website instantly. You want to think that the brain has one purpose, and that is energy conservation. All of a sudden, if your message has to make people think, has to make people's brains work, that's the surest way to lose people. So how simple is your project to understand? How easy is it? How simple of words are you using to describe your project? For example, that same project that said, security is the commodity we exchange, if only they said, we make your crypto trading experience safer. How much more would they have converted? Just like this. How much more would people have desired this brand right here? So make it simple. Make your brand as simple as possible to understand. And then the final one is the unique mechanism. It could be simple, but is it unique? Is this another seen before product that looks like everything else? Or, ooh, is this project looking unique? Is this like the first time that I've seen this thing? It's the first time I've seen this solution. This could finally be the solution to all my issues that I've been having. This is where you have a unique mechanism. This is a unique solution that you've created. For example, think of Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid, they pretty much are competing in the most competitive industry ever, which are the exchange industry. Whether it's centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, there have been thousands of exchanges that are all competing for each other's share. What Hyperliquid did, the way they launched, is they created a flywheel where they have a community flywheel-driven exchange, decentralized exchange, where all the proceeds that come from the trading fees go back into buying the token. So then a lot of people went to buy the token and the token pumped. So now everyone's using Hyperliquid, and it became that whole flywheel. And how people think is by using Hyperliquid, they are pumping their own bags because they generally have a good product, Hyperliquid. But that is the unique mechanism that they created, the buyback meta for a DEX. And we've spoken about this a million times on this channel, which is the law of leadership, the law of the category king, the blue ocean strategy. These are all things that you already know by now. And I'm gonna be linking at the end of this video, a very important video that I made about this concept. But what you wanna think about right here is how unique is your product? And now that you look at this, you're like, you have a lot of social proof. A lot of people are talking about you. A lot of people are trading with you. You have a hot narrative. You have authority, big people, big logos, a lot of authority behind your project. You have an appealing offer that makes people want to take action. You have a simple to understand product, and you have a unique mechanism. Those things together, all of a sudden, is how you go from a nobody into a project that every single person in crypto wants to touch. I'm Leon Aboud. Let's make sure we are connected on X at @LeonAboud_. And if you want to learn how do you position yourself as a category king, as a category leader, there's a video right here for you. I'll see you soon.